So tomorrow on Wednesday, I'm finally leaving Birchwood again to go to Bennett for a couple days. And then over the weekend, I'm going to be down in Rochelle, Illinois for the second time. So here's all the equipment I'm going to be bringing. And I'm going to put it all into my CN bag here. As you can notice by like what it's made out of from the inside of the bag, it was meant to be a cooler, but whatever. It's going to be my Railfanning bag. So let's bring all the important stuff, shall we? First, I'm going to put my little bag of AA batteries. I've got quite a bit in here. It's not really meant to be a AA battery bag, but it's meant for my camcorder to be in. So let's put that in there. What do I need now? My 6K Ultra HD camcorder here. Can get up to 120 FPS. That might be pretty useful. So we're going to gently put that in there so it doesn't break. My Bushnell radar gizmo. See, it can't really be useful for anything since nothing's moving right now. But we're going to put that in there. What do we got? Oh, next we got my AA battery charger. All the batteries I use are rechargeable, so I put these on here after I'm done using them to let them charge for a bit. This one isn't really as fast of charging batteries as others. This one usually takes about 2 hours or so to charge them. We're going to put that in there. There we go. Next up, got my 30-watt portable charger here. Fully charged and ready to go. In case my phone gets on low battery. Gently put that in there. Got some sunglasses. Nice blue ones. In case the day gets really sunny. Got my United Bearcat scanner here. I always bring this with me when I go railfanning. 2 fully charged batteries in there. That's ready to go. It's annoying when the antenna sticks out though. Got this silver little bag here. It's my drone. Maybe I could finally use this in a future video. And last and not least, my BNSF safety vest here. This is an actual BNSF vest that railroad workers wear. So we're just gonna put that in the side here. Oh. Got my train wallet here, but I'm probably not gonna put that in my bag. I would just carry that in my pocket. Got one of my new hats here as well. It's supposed to be in a CN SD75I 5771. I'll probably wear that. Or I might wear my Grand Trunker BNSF cap as well. So that's probably all I got to bring for my trip down to Rochelle. But I forgot something. It's not going to go in my bag, but it's still going to be really useful to bring it. This big old tripod here. Put that there. Oh yeah, I'm using my other tripod right now to film this video. If you don't know what I'm filming with, I'm using my phone right now. So I can't really show that.
Southbound Intermodal.
Intermodal. Probably going to be at a Northbound Intermodal at Chitimo. We're here at Sauntry siding. Probably the least used siding on the Superior sub. I've only seen like one meet here in my entire lifetime. But there it goes. Some boring power on it.
And detector, mile 428.73. Southbound, no defects. Temperature 66 F. Total axles 448. Speed 48. Detector out.
Rail grinder. Except it's not actually grinding anything right now. I was not expecting to see that though. I thought it was a Northbound Intermodal train coming. Because I'm pretty sure that met the Southbound Intermodal at Chitimo. And there was another southbound on the way right now. It's probably somewhere on double track. And pretty sure it's led by an SD75i. Alright, we got a southbound coming. Looks like a next city rail leader.
That is probably the most sand hoppers I've ever seen on the M344. There's barely any manifest on there. And there's probably, when it goes past the defect detector in Solon Springs, it's probably going to have like over 900 axles or something. That was a lot of sand hoppers on the M344. Speaking of which, 2X City Rails, including one leading with Nathan P5, and EMD is, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe some kind of Jeep or something. Light cab. But yeah, that was actually a cool train. Here comes another southbound. Let's see what this one's got. That's a southbound wood local bound for Hayward Junction. Then it's going to come back loaded with logs. 3-9s. Get as many of those as you can before they're rebuilt into C6M rebuilds. That was decent. There they go, northbound light power after dropping off the empty wood cars at Hawthorne. No, Santry on the little side track adjacent to the siding. So yeah, they didn't go very far today. I thought they were going to go all the way down to Hayward Junction, but I suppose not. Here comes another Jevo with an intermodal. you go. That was a Northbound Intermodal trailing behind the Lite power here, Bennett, Wisconsin, milepost 437.70. All right, here comes the L564. That was the L564, CN5416 to lead that. That might be it for a little while. So I'm gonna head on out of here, and maybe I'll continue Railfanning in a couple hours or so. I might miss a couple trains, especially southbounds, since there's not gonna be any northbounds for a little while. Since that Northbound Intermodal is gonna be the last northbound for probably the rest of the day. So, yeah. Alright guys, so a train hasn't been through here since about 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's a little after 9 now. So how long's that been? Like about 6 or so hours. And if you look right here, the northbound signal is on yellow over green, approach diverging. That is the first time the signal's been on for 6 hours. And this is for the L563. I'm not sure if I'm gonna catch it or not, since it'll probably be like another 2 hours and it'll be like pitch black by the time it actually gets here. But I'll see what I can do. Here comes L563. There it goes. Usually trains don't go that fast through here. That was doing like 50. Track speed is 50 here. Most places on the Superior Sub are 60. Most trains don't even go 50 here. But yeah, that was the L563. It has an intermodal trailing behind it. Southbound M356 is on double track right now. It's going to wait for the intermodal, but I'm not going to catch either one of those trains. This day of Railfanning on Wednesday, June 11th, 2025 comes to a close. Actually, it looks like intermodal isn't anywhere close yet, as the signal just shut off. Nothing trailing yet. Here comes a northbound.
Engine is dyno only.
That was a relatively short intermodal led by CN 3911. There is another intermodal trailing though, but I'm not sure exactly where it's at. We do have another one trailing though. It's passing the defect detector at Hines right now. That was northbound M345 that originated from Stevens Point. Comes M302. Again, why not put that DPU at the end of the train if it's so close to the end already? Come on, CN. Finally, we got my intermodal coming. Wow. BC Rail 4652. That's pretty cool. It's my first time ever catching one. That's interesting. Comes L564. That was L564. It had a Jevo trailing third. It might be working Ladysmith Yard when it gets there in about 2 hours or so. Or maybe they just need the Jevo for extra horsepower. But yeah, that was decent. Here comes a boring Southbound Manifest. Southbound M344 with some boring Gevos on them. Disclaimer, only CN Gevos are boring. No other company's Gevos are boring. Those ones are cool. Here comes M357. CN 2280. That's the M357. That was the first train that passed in almost 5 hours. Last train that went through here was southbound M344. After this northbound, there'll probably be L563 in about an hour and a half or so, which I'm not going to catch that. It does have a DMIR engine, I believe, an orange SD40-2T, SD40T-2. Yeah. But I won't catch that, sadly.
Long ago there was a day when it looked like the rails would die away. Other machines would go farther and faster, and the steamer trains were headed for disaster. But men with steel in their veins vowed to save the railway trains. They worked day and night, and when they were done, a new era had just begun. not survive. Like a phoenix rising, they came alive. Headed down that railway line was an engine made for a future time. The Hudson, Daylight, and Burlington Zephyr, standing proud and better than ever, flying by like the westward wind, a new